Hello YouTube, Simulus again. This time bringing you a battle on Marathon. My Roman setup again. 2 melee units and 1 javelin unit to break up those 3-on-3 stalemates. I've noticed we didn't have very many melee units on this one, so I've decided I would post myself in the center and just try to hold this position. As you can see, we have a couple of artillery pieces, 2 over here and another player carrying another one, or 2 actually, so four in total. The enemy is coming up trying to take this point and gets turned back by the sole infantry unit, which puts stakes warding this area off. So they do have to pull back, and this is a pretty scary fortified artillery position. Meanwhile, I'm just trying to support this guy. Haven't addressed that issue still common for me, which means not getting engaged too early. As you can see once more, we have some missile units of our own, but they have a lot of archers which can definitely outrange us. The artillery is helping, of course, but I push a little too forward and just get smacked by these units, so entering Testudo as quickly as I can. Seeing that the enemy moves forward, I do have to turn back, and now my back is definitely exposed. Trying to ward off this attack with infantry. Lots of javelins and infantry by the enemy still. This guy has disconnected, but someone else is controlling his units. I try to charge in one side while coming around from the other. The javelin men are meanwhile trying to reduce the number of his javelin men, taking a lot of damage from all the archers over here. My unit has yet to engage. It has just engaged, and it's already down to 5th or 6th of his hit points. So so we just get overwhelmed, plain and simple. We just have too much of everything. Even the javelin men are suffering. I didn't anticipate there to be so much of the enemy units. There's some reprieve from allied horsemen, but yeah, there's just so many archers. We just get squashed, even though we're supposed to win against archers, but there's just that much, too much, too many of them. There's a lot of archers, is what I'm saying. Still, that artillery positioning at least has to keep them moving and prevents them from organizing too much. Meanwhile, what have our other flanks done? This flank has lost. I've lost in the center, I admit that fully. So all we have is this artillery position. Still, it's difficult to take with all the archers and the cavalry and the stakes from all the sides. Even some infantry protection. The javelin men try to storm the hill, but the archers shoot first, and whoever shoots first usually wins. Which is a good rule for most things in life. Being a little cynical here. So since the enemy is scattered due to that artillery bombardment, they do have to split in various places, which leaves some gaps for charging, like this one. What it does most is it allows these archers to rain fire on them. The enemy skirmishers have been depleted, so now we have advantage in this area. Meanwhile, where some progress being made to the enemy capture point, we find their artillery. They are also protected by an enemy infantry and cavalry unit, so an effort is being made to break out. However, I don't think this is going to be successful. At least one infantry unit breaks through and takes the enemy capture point though. Doesn't matter too much, since the cavalry should counter the influence of this unit over here. Basically, we're capturing our base while we are capturing theirs. They do have a lot of more troops in our base though. So this is definitely looking bad enough so that the artillery guys actually have to pull troops to defend. And they do. The capture bar certainly has depleted. The horsemen are overall doing a good job just harassing the enemy units, catching archers where they can. This is one of the artillery guys, I believe. He's even sent a unit of his own, because things are just that bad in this area. Trying to take a look on these units so that our artillery can fire on them, but it's proving to be difficult. This unit is just hiding, I believe, looking for an opportunity. But someone has to go in to give vision for the artillery, so these are going to be our sacrificial horsemen. Meanwhile, not much progress is being made here. The spear unit is actually getting countered by 2 cavalry units and 1 infantry unit. They do have a phalanx, but when you're getting attacked from 2 directions, it's not all that useful. Still, for 1 unit to be able to somewhat hold against 3 is really something. But now another phalanx unit is coming, and these have round golden shields, which you know means that they mean business. So they get into their pushy fight, and actually the golden shields seem to be losing until more of them come from behind. Meanwhile, archers are being brought to try and fiddle this force down, and it's certainly an effective strategy, provided our own archers don't get killed by enemy arrows. But this is helping somewhat, because that artillery becomes useful again. I don't know if you can see chat, but the artillery players were definitely coordinating when we needed to. And a nice charge from behind, even followed by an infantry. So definitely brutal here. One of the units manages to escape, but the other two rout. So I guess these weak units of several men each have done a good job distracting 86 of these militaries. We're no longer sieging the enemy base, and they still certainly can, especially now that these archers have been destroyed. They're doing what they can, just trying to stay alive and provide some vision for the artillery. The artillery is pretty powerful, but unlike the archers, they don't do a lot of damage over a short period of time. It's more that they do a good amount of damage during a long period. But this is a pretty fortified position with still one infantry defending. However, this seems to be everything that we have. Seeing that there are archers here and our archers have been run down, this unit is retreating, which should allow the enemy to capture our base. Some enemy horsemen is being sighted. However, the stakes and the infantry is doing a good job warding off. So there is not much this guy can do. This is definitely a strong position. I wish I had done better defending this actually. Again, not learning my lesson about being patient. They charge through the stakes, which does surprising amount of damage actually. However, the enemy has one unit of artillery of his own, and it seems to be firing at us while we can't see it. So a watchtower is being taken, but that still can't spot the enemy firing from the forest somewhere. So can these guys hold? Because that's what they need to do right now. If the time runs out, the side that has more points wins. We can capture their base, not at this distance and not with this force. The enemy can still capture ours. As you can see, there's still some units here. What archers are these actually? Huntsmen. I was going to say they look a bit Irish to me. So this was our secondary artillery position. Looks like it's being taken now. And they do have to flee. I don't know if I can redeploy a catapult or not. Probably not. So the crew remains without their main siege equipment, having to pull back, trying to connect with the other artillery group, being harassed meanwhile by these legionnaires over here, probably militaires. Just watching out for them. A minute remaining and we are slightly ahead. A bit of a desperate break is tried, but the defending infantry unit defends. Still, the funny situation here was that while we should win with 1 minute remaining at this point, they can't possibly cap us this fast. But this one lone artillery unit that we have found now has been chipping away at us. However, it is finally found, so it can't deal damage to us without damage being dealt to it. So it evens out. Hadn't we somehow found this unit, the balance of power could have been in another side. So the catapult is destroyed, and we score our first time victory. So a pretty interesting battle. I wanted to show you this one, despite my own individual effort not being much here. But pretty interesting, a base rush with artillery positions. So definitely fun. I enjoyed this one, and I hope you were mildly entertained. And I'll see you next time in another one. See ya. Take care.